Configuring ArcPAD 10. This is for a Windows Mobile 6.5 device. So the session objectives. Understand the different settings in ArcPAD. There are three main places that you're going to go to configure the ArcPAD settings. The first one is going to be GPS preferences. The way that you get to GPS preferences is on the main toolbar. You tap the drop down underneath the satellite icon and then you go to GPS preferences. We're then going to go to the options. It is either you can tap the piece of paper icon if you like, or tap the drop down and go to options. And then we're going to go to Trimble GPS Correct, and it's the Trimble icon and then the Trimble icon on the toolbar. Okay, so in GPS preferences, you have several available tabs. You have GPS. What GPS preferences does is what the GPS tab under GPS preferences does, it says, hey, what GPS do you want to hook up to? It depends on what GPS device you have as to what the protocol is going to be. Okay, if you are, well, it depends on if you're using Trimble GPS Correct as to what the protocol is going to be. If you have Trimble GPS Correct, then the protocol is going to be Trimble GPS Correct. If you're not using that, then you'll use NEMA, more than likely. And then the port depends on what hardware you're using. If you're using a Geo, it's going to be COM3. Okay, and then the baud rate will actually change for you whenever you select the protocol. Now there might be times that you have to match the baud rate up to your device. I know with the Geos it will change for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run through these slides first and kind of talk a little bit about each of these settings, and then we're going to do our settings together. So on the Capture tab, GPS Enable Averaging. By default, this is unchecked. And what that means is if I'm to go out in the field and I'm collecting a point, it's only going to grab me one position for each point. What I want to do is I want to turn on averaging. If I check this box, then I can say how many points or vertices I want to basically average together to create my point. So if I have it on 10 for number of positions to average, when I go out and collect my light pole, I'm going to see it count up percentage-wise. And it's actually going to grab 10 positions, and then once it grabs those 10 positions, it's going to average them together to create my one light pole. And then for streaming, you have position interval or distance interval. Now it has to meet both of these before you're actually going to get another dot of connect the dots. So the way it's set up now, it's every 10 meters. So if I'm trying to, do a pond or something, my pond's going to look more like a triangle if it's a small pond. So it's only every 10 meters is it going to get a dot. So that was something that you're probably going to want to change if you're streaming tight areas. Okay, the next one is the quality. If you are not using GPS Correct, you might want to say that you only want to collect in the DGPS mode, for instance. That's the differential GPS where you're getting real time. If you're using Trimble GPS Correct, we don't do anything on here. We let Trimble GPS Correct handle it. Now, under the GPS height, this is where you can say if you have an antenna, what the antenna height is, or if there's a geoid separation. Okay, and then whether or not you want to use the map units for the map height, or if you want to specify something, a different type of unit. Okay, the datum tab. This refers to what the correction source is coming in. If you are using WAS or SBAS or uncorrected data, you need to leave this on WGS84. This right here doesn't say what is the coordinate system of your geodatabase. This is dealing with the GPS, GNSS coordinate system. Now, if you're using a VRS, you're going to want to come and change this to the coordinate system of the VRS. And that is normally NAD 1983 HARN, or NSRS 2007. Okay, alerts. This right here, it's kind of hard to see because it's all scrunched together whenever you normally get it. The first one is no GPS being received from your receiver. And then there's a couple other ones down there. The one that I always uncheck is the fourth one down, no current position fix. Whenever we get into configuring, I'll show you the one I normally always uncheck. And then last but not least, location. This one will automatically start up at your last known location, and I have found that if I go in and uncheck restore location, I don't get the error that says the COM port is already in use by another receiver. So I always uncheck the restore location. Once we do the GPS preferences, we're done with that. We're now going to move on to the options tab. Several different tabs that you can do. On the display tab, I normally change my display units from metric to US units. Sometimes I even change my highlight color. If I'm using features that have a, like a teal cyan color, I'll change this highlight color to like a pink or a red or something that I can see. If you're using the camera, there's a couple neat things that are new with 10. You can go in there and say the picture quality right here. You can also go in and actually have the photo name include the date and time in the file name by checking that box. The ArcPAD Options Path tab, this is where you're actually going to have your default data. So if you move it to the SD card, if you have everything on your SD card, you're going to want to come in here and change this path to go to your SD card. Okay. And there's a couple other, I'm not going to go over the other tabs. All right, GPS Correct. When you first start up GPS Correct, it always starts up on the SkyPlot screen. You'll tap on SkyPlot and go down to Setup, and then this is your setup. We'll go over these settings as well. And let's go ahead and do that right now. And my GPS device just went blank because I didn't use it in 5 minutes. So let me go ahead and connect up. All right, it's not wanting to do it on this one. I'm going to there is a free application out there called MyMobler. And this is really good if you want to make I have to hook up with ActiveSync on this one. MyMobler is useful if you want to make like little cheat sheets to actually clip your screen so that people can kind of know how to take the data out in the field, but you do have to be hooked up with ActiveSync. So this right here is just hosed.